Hey everyone, this is Christopher Donnell. It is Monday morning, meaning it's time for another Motivational Monday, and I'm here with my new friend Peter Checky.
Good morning.
What's that?
Good morning.
Good morning. And he is with the American Red Cross.
Yes.
And he's here to talk a little bit today about the mission of the Red Cross. We have an upcoming blood drive at the church, and some information that we can share to hopefully encourage you to come out and donate. So, Peter, how long have you been with the Red Cross?
I've been with the Red Cross for 6 years.
Okay. And what kind of drew you to that organization?
Well, before I came to Ohio and the Red Cross, it was all in the same week that I worked with adults with disabilities. I've worked with other not-for-profits, and I was kind of looking for that type scope of work, and the Red Cross had an opening, and I thought, oh, this sounds perfect. So, yeah.
So what are some things that you found to be pretty impactful there at the Red Cross that you find meaningful and kind of life-giving?
Yeah, it's amazing. Every day, not every day, but almost every day I go to a blood drive. I see people just like yourself, myself, folks that want to help other people with nothing in return.
Yeah.
And that's the neat thing. These people are spending an hour, sometimes an hour and 15 minutes of their time. Some have to travel, quite a bit. I've heard people traveling 45 minutes to a blood drive and then having to wait an hour, then travel back again. I ask them why they do it. There'll be a donor on a bed or something, and hey, why did you come in to donate today? Well, there's always stories. Maybe it was a childbirth issue that they had, or I hear stories so many times about kids who need transfusions at young ages. They're fighting cancer and need parts of the blood that we collect to help them heal from that cancer, and great success stories. So, and others just want to do it just because I always hear this, it's the right thing to do. And I don't disagree with them.
Right. Yeah. So what is the impact? You kind of alluded to it, of donating blood. Why is it such a vital part of the medical field and saving people's lives?
Well, there's no replacement for blood. Okay. So there is nothing out there that can be manufactured to put into our bodies when our bodies do need blood to take the place of it. And it really rests on the shoulders of a few people. So nationwide, about 38% of the people are eligible to donate blood, because you've got the very old and the very young that can't donate blood.
Right.
And out of those 38%, only about 6% actually take the time to donate blood. So, that number seems small, and it is small. So, we do count on the folks that are wanting to do this to come into those blood drives and donate to help.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, 6%. That's
6% out of 38%. So it's even a smaller number.
Smaller piece of the pie.
And without blood, there are a lot of illnesses that people would not survive.
Yeah.
You've got your cancers, you've got your transplants, you've got surgeries that are taking place. Just to have, if somebody was having a surgery on their heart to do the bypasses, they need 40 units of whatever type of blood that they have on hand, just in case there's a problem.
Okay.
Car accidents are a big one.
Okay.
Most people don't think, car accidents, broken bones and this and that, but you get a lot of internal injuries. And it's not uncommon for a person in a car accident to use 100 units of blood, quickly.
Oh my gosh.
There was a gentleman up north in West Liberty who had an accident, and within the first 48 hours, he used about 106 units of whole blood.
Wow. So what typically do you get? You're talking about units of blood. What do you get when someone comes and donates? So
it's a pint, right? That's what we call a unit. It's a little less than a pint of blood.
Okay.
And in our blood system, you and I've got about 10 to 12 pints of blood in our system. That's about the average for an adult.
Okay.
We only want to take one of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't get nervous. We won't take two. Although we'll take two with a different procedure, which we can talk about later.
Okay.
But In that blood, that we call it whole blood. And there are 3 properties that we're after. So we're after the plasma, we're after the platelets, and we're after the red blood cells.
Okay.
Plasma, have you ever picked a scab?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're kind of picking plasma. So what has happened is if you get a cut or something and healing up, all that plasma is rushing towards that wound and healing that wound, and parts of it are on the outside too because it's an open wound.
Yeah.
So a lot of our plasma goes to burn centers. So trauma burn centers. That's how we use that part of it. Platelets are the other third of the blood that we use. A lot of our platelets, about 80% of our platelets, typically go to cancer patients.
Okay.
So whatever, and I'm not going to get too medical because I can't, whatever is going on with the radiation and the chemotherapy with a cancer patient, the factory inside us that creates that blood kind of creates those platelets, shuts down. So cancer patients are using a lot of the platelets. And again, they wouldn't survive without that.
Yeah.
And red blood cells, that's the most common, everybody knows, because it's red. They're actually red. Your platelets are not red, your plasma is not red, but the red blood cells are what are used in all kinds of things, surgeries, transfusions, if there's a car accident or a gunshot wound or something like that that donor is or that recipient is losing blood, they're going to get a lot of red blood cells.
That's huge. So you say you go to pretty much a drive a day.
It kind of averages out to that. It's I would say about 22 to 25 blood drives during the month.
Okay.
And the region that I take care of is this is a part of it in Champaign County. I work in Madison, Clark, or Champaign, Logan, and Hardin, plus a lot of the other outlying areas and all of the Dayton area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been here a few times then.
We have.
At the Methodist Church here.
Really nice program you've got here.
Well, thanks. So what kind of numbers do you need to be a successful blood drive? And what would be like a good target that would make it like, hey, we did this?
Well, and that's a great question because every once in a while, we'll hear people say, and these are the folks that are running the blood drives. Nita here runs the one here. Sometimes they'll say, well, wouldn't you just be happy with 5 or 6 units of blood or whatever you collected? We really, yes, we are happy for that blood, obviously, right?
Take it.
But in real life scenarios, we have to be as efficient as possible because we have limited staff, especially now with COVID going on.
Yeah, talk about COVID challenges right now for you.
Oh boy. Same challenges that everybody else is going. If you're a business owner, you understand you've got employees that are out sick with COVID. They've been quarantined. Well, we're a not-for-profit organization that has employees too, and our staff, our phlebotomy staff, us who set up the programs, all of us have been affected by this. Currently, right now, I think we've got more than a dozen people out on quarantine. So what happens is those folks at a blood drive, we either have to pull staff, and when we pull staff, we become less efficient, and we potentially lose units of blood because the donor wait is too long to get that. So that goes back to that efficiency. We want to be able to collect as much as we can at every location because that's our one shot. I think we do 4 blood drives here a year. So 4 days, we have to make the best of it from our point of view, from the donor's point of view, signing up and committing to that appointment time. That's all really important to us so that in those 4 days, we collect as much blood as we possibly can, and we set goals. So I think typically we set a goal here of about 28 to 30 units. If we don't reach our goal, that tells us that somebody is potentially not going to get the blood that we meant to collect because we set our goals based on what our hospital needs are. And in this area,
it's not like you just store it up just to store it up.
Oh, I love that. There is no storage space. When I first started at the Red Cross, they gave us a tour of the facility down in Columbus on Broad Street. And I said, so where is all this blood stored?
Yeah.
And the ladies laughed at me and they said, well, you saw that. That's where the truck comes in at the docks, kind of just like, it's actually a factory. It's the second largest manufacturing facility of blood product in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
So the blood will come in at a dock on the trucks. We truck it back in boxes and ice, and then it gets processed overnight where the blood, the platelets, the plasma, and the red blood cells are separated. And the platelets are gone within 2 days of arriving at our facility, and typically red blood cells are gone within the week.
Okay.
So
it's off the shelf.
It's there, yeah. It's in, out, boom, out to the hospitals.
People need it.
People need it, and every day, every 2 seconds, somebody needs blood. So you can see. I know we don't think about it until it's there. It may only happen once in our life, but I bet if we all sat back and thought in our family, who's needed blood over the years? Sure. Maybe it's been a grandpa, maybe it's been a mom during childbirth. Maybe it's been somebody who has struggled to fight cancer and has needed it.
Well, and I think even if it's not our immediate family, I think we all know somebody within our point of contact.
You bet.
I mean, neighbors, friends, coworkers. I mean, somebody needs it around you. If you said every 2 seconds.
Every 2 seconds.
Probably bumped into somebody today.
Yeah, and most people, again, don't talk about it, and they just hope that it's there. Yeah. Well, we're the hope. You're the hope. The donors are the hope. Nita, who runs this blood program here, she's the hope here. And we don't like to rely on hope. We like certainties. We like certainties. There's a lot of hope out there, but it gets done because of a lot of hard work.
Yeah, that's good. So what would be your encouragement, the motivation since it's Motivational Monday,
hey, yeah.
right? How would you motivate our listeners, our viewers today? What would you motivate them to do? How to take action? Well,
your gift, your easy, simple gift of coming into a blood drive for giving an hour of your day is going to help save the lives of 3 people. You'll probably never meet these people, but just know that somewhere out there, there's a mom, there's a dad, there's a brother or sister staring at that pint of blood that's just dripping life into their loved one's body. I don't think it gets any better than that.
Yeah. That's good. So even if folks can't make it out to, say, this particular blood drive, where would you have them go to look up information to find out where a blood drive maybe is at least close to them in the near future?
The easiest way is to remember 2 websites, or a website and an 800 number, 1-800-RED Cross. Okay. You call 1-800-RED Cross and tell them where you're located. They'll be able to figure out a blood drive that'll fit your schedule. The other one is redcrossblood.org. In this area, we've got quite a few programs going on. So if you can't make the drive here at this church, the YMCA has blood drives. The First Presbyterian Church down the way has a program. There's always a way, and odds are you won't have to travel too far to do it.
Great. So we can save lives by donating a pint of blood 4 times a year, even here at our church.
Absolutely.
How often can you donate blood?
A donor, a regular donor, whole blood donor, can donate up to 6 times a year. So it's every 56 days. Okay. I do want to talk a little bit about Power Red donors. If you have the right blood type, a Power Red donor is where we take 2 units of red blood cells and put back all that other stuff. We put back the platelets and the plasma. And the reason why we do that is that particular red blood cell, those are in high demand. So like your type O's and your negative types, A negative and B negative. Now the neat thing about that is those units are two red blood cell units always stay together. And the reason being is if a recipient can receive that, the heal time is from the same donor. The heal time is quicker and there's less complications. So do you know where those typically go to?
No.
Little babies, little infants.
Oh, wow.
So if you can figure a little small one, who is receiving a transfusion, on average, they get about 2 units during their transfusions, or if somebody's a child with cancer. Again, if it can come from the same donor, for that little one, the baby is going to heal faster and there's less worries. So
very cool. And you'll find that out by coming and signing up. They'll just test your blood. How does that work?
yeah, so many people do know their blood type, but if you don't know their blood type, after your first donation, you can always download our app, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then after your first donation, your blood type will appear in the app.
Okay.
So the same information that you give us at a blood drive, your email address and so forth, when we test that blood, we do get back to you and let you know, hey, this is your blood type. And another cool thing too, we also tell you what hospital it went to and who it helped.
Cool.
So we call that the journey of your blood.
Yeah.
So that's a good reason to donate blood.
Yeah.
So it doesn't put a face on it. It puts it kind of lets you know though where it's going to be, who it's going to help, and there's nothing better than knowing that you've helped somebody
Absolutely.
out there.
That's cool. Well, and as Jesus followers at our church here, we believe in helping people and saving lives in a multitude of fashions, and this is part of it, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, Peter, for sitting down with us
Oh,
today.
you're welcome, Christopher.
And sign up for a blood drive here at the church or one down the road. I mean, again, up to 6 times a year, so plenty of opportunities in the area, and you'll get to hang out with Peter and the crew in the Miami Valley District area, right?
Yes, come on down. We'll take good care of you.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week on Motivational Monday.